Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic episode of the Left Wing Live. How you doing today, John?
Doing great today, TJ. I have this sun in my eyes. No matter what I do, I cannot escape it. But eventually it will go down and I will have a dark, not very good picture. So, lose.
I like how the sun is both the reason we exist and the only reason we sustain life, but also incredibly annoying at the same time. It's kind of like your parents when you're little. Your parents are the only reason you're there, but when you're 9 years old, you can't think of anything more oppressive and brutal than mom and dad. It's just kind of funny how that works.
I like back in the earlier days of TikToks, there used to be like a format, like a meme on TikTok where it would be like basically just high thoughts. It'd be like, I'm seeing one there. It's like, well, if the sun gives us life and sustains us, why isn't it called the dad? Dun, dun, dun. If the sun is so hot, why is it cold in space?
Yeah, I like science. Listen, that's how we do science. That's how science questions work. I mean, they're fantastic. That's
science
why I love it.
Is a liar sometimes.
Science is a liar sometimes. What is that from? What is that
It's
from?
From Always Sunny.
Always Sunny. Okay, yeah. You would think of that, Mac, as but I do. I like that the sun gives you cancer. That's very funny. That's one of the things that makes me think God might be real and just have an incredibly dark sense of humor. That this thing gives you life, but don't enjoy it too much because it will kill you. That's just kind of one of my favorites. Oh, we got Mark commenting. What does Mark say? If you guys were conservatives, you would start on time. Oh, hey, we did.
Mark,
did we start at 6:31?
It's 6:32. We're a minute 54 into this.
We did. Oh, you're right. We did start on time. You know what? If we started at 6:31, it'd have been like 6:31 in 10 seconds or something. Just doing the math on that. Well, if we were conservatives, we couldn't do math. So
and also, Trump and Elon started their thing like half an hour late.
Oh my God!
Because Elon can't run a Twitter thing. So I disagree with your premise.
Well, I mean, Trump and Elon are a different category of conservative, though. I wouldn't put them in line with your standard. I mean, yeah, they're Republicans and shit.
Mike Pence would have started on time.
Mike Pence would have started on time. Yeah, Mike Pence would have been on. But listen, the Trump and Elon thing, I wish there were betting odds on whether or not that would have started on time, because my first thought when I saw that was the Ron DeSantis thing, which also did not start on time and was flooded with issues and everything. And I was watching the Majority Report. I don't know if you watched that show, the Sam Seder show.
Yeah, I don't watch it, but I know of it and see clips from it.
Yeah, he and Emma were talking about it, and Emma pointed out that it's incredible that Elon can't figure this shit out, with just broadcasting audio signals. There's not even video. He would have had a better job just doing it on the radio. Just doing the radio, it would have gone off without a hitch. People would have heard it. It would have been fine. But Elon fucks up 30-year-old technology of broadcasting audio over the internet. I don't know what's going on with him. And what is Marco says, no talking politics today. Too depressing. Have you guys ever been to a golf tournament? It's funny. We will talk politics, but it will be a different type of show. And 15 minutes early is late for Mike Pence. Yeah, he does seem like that kind of guy. I'm that kind of guy in real life in a weird way, John, actually.
You're ex-military.
Yeah. It's kind of, I hate being late. It's something that just really annoys me. You know what's funny? My dad was in the military too for 22 years. He was late for everything. I have no idea. Yeah, he was always late and it drove me crazy. And I don't know how he survived 2 decades in the military when he couldn't. I guarantee he was on time there. Guarantee he was on time. But in his regular life, back in my day, we didn't have a lot of digital clocks. So we had them, but there was still a lot of analog clocks. Oh, no, I'm lying. That's not true. We had tons of digital clocks, but we didn't have satellite connected clocks where the clocks updated themselves automatically. You had to do it yourself. So my dad would do that thing where he set his clocks fast to trick himself so he could be on time. You ever seen people do that? I don't know. They're doing it these days.
Yep. I do it sometimes.
Oh, you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. But check this out. My dad did it in the worst way possible. He would have the clock in the living room, 7 minutes fast, The clock in the car was 11 minutes fast. The clock in the kitchen was 9 minutes fast. So you never really knew what time it actually was. And so for a while, I was like really specific on it, but now I got to worry about it anymore since it updates itself. But yeah, I'm definitely an early guy since childhood. I think even without the military, I would have been like that thanks to my dad scarring me.
It's like one of those things where you just like go the opposite way of your parents. Your parents, they aren't necessarily wrong, but the way they are annoys you so much, you just go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
We have an interesting show today, TJ, because we're going to be doing some left-wing Olympics. But I do want to make a comment there because what you just said reminded me of something, and I want to do a little gender discourse with you here.
Let's go.
Everyone wants to get on a podcast with two dudes talking gender discourse.
I know, right? Yeah.
But this is a common argument.
Folks.
This is a common argument me and my fiance have that I have seen replicate. I've seen a couple times online, but like it's been a killer at parties, TJ.
Yeah.
But what we do is we get ready. I finish getting ready, and I do basically everything but put my shoes on. And then she'll be like 15, 20 minutes late getting ready. Mm-hmm. But then I'll like be putting my shoes on. She'll be like, hurry up, we're late. And I'll be like, hold up. Now, her argument is that by putting the shoes on, I've caused us to be 30 seconds later. And therefore, I'm ultimately responsible for how late we are. I have seen this argument defended, but I want to know if as an on-time person, you see any merit to this?
No, none whatsoever. No, we're already fucking late. If my 30 seconds putting my shoes on makes us late, we were late already. That's kind of the way I see it. It doesn't. There's no defending that at all. I have had that happen, not with anyone I've dated, I don't think, but my parents. Once again, back to my parents, is that I was ready to go. I'm all ready to go. And they're like, all right, let's go. They are just yelling, bolt out the door, bolt out. Okay, I'll get my shoes. I've been ready for 10 minutes now. You guys have been holding up the show. So I am team John on this all the way. I don't, I don't.
We knew not to get into the car until my dad did, or else we would just be sitting there for half an hour.
Right. Oh, God. And with the shoe thing with girlfriends, I dated this girl years ago. And I remember she had these heels that she really liked. And I'll never forget. She put on the heels. We got into the car and we was going to this house party. And we got to the house. It was like one of her friends. And she walked in the house and took off her heels. And I said, okay, you wore those heels just to wear them in the car. That's it. You're not going to wear them out. Why bother wearing them at all? I don't know. It's just funny stuff people do. And that made no sense to me. And I never stopped making fun of her for it because it was kind of stupid. All right. Oh yeah, that's right. Our show today. So we had this idea. Going to complain about our parents, our girlfriends, and stars. That's what we're going to do the entire time on the show, apparently. But
the sun is too hot.
The sun is too hot. Actually, that is a major complaint. That global warming is a big deal. Yeah. So
ocean temperatures weren't the hottest they've ever been for the first time in 15 months to this last month. So that's some positive global warming news.
Oh, okay. All right. I can. So we had this idea of going over. The Olympics came to a close, friend, and I think the Olympics are a fantastic idea. I'm never more patriotic than when the Olympics are going on. Like I might as well be a MAGA Republican when it's time for the Winter Olympics. I'm watching some sport I've never heard of, and I was like, all right, let's hope the Americans can pull it off here, and I'm all for it. But we're going to give out our own Olympic medals for the left-wing Olympics. And we talked about with John a little bit, and so we're kind of free flow with this to see how it goes. Maybe every 2 years we'll do this. We'll do it for the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics of the left-wing medals. So the first category we have, or the first Olympic event we have, Trumpisms. We did this once before. I think we were talking about our favorite Trumpisms, but what are we going to think is our bronze medal Trumpism, like a statement that Trump loves to say a lot? What do you think? What's up there for you?
Well, okay, I think we should do this by nominating a couple and then deciding where they should rank.
I like that.
Makes
I like
more
that.
Sense.
Great idea.
So a couple I want to nominate, and one I think it's just like when I hear Trumpism, the first thing that comes to mind is the accordion hands. Like the accordion, when I think of like a thing that Trump does, that only specifically Trump does, the accordion hand, I've never seen anyone else do this as much as he does, with the backup being the double blowjob hands. That's another that's another great one.
So I was thinking stuff he said. I guess we didn't clarify it, but yeah, the actions work too. Yeah, the double BJ hands. That's good for Trump. I like many such cases. I love that phrase. Like, I've never heard anyone say that before other than Trump. I like also many people are saying, I guess that kind of falls right in. Many people are
saying like he does that, but a lot of people do that.
Yeah. And Big Lee has got to be up there. Big Lee is definitely a Trump thing. Oh, there's one more I thought that he said all the time. Shit. Oh, the one he says that no one knows more about this than me. That one is like, because it's his constant thing he goes for. So, all right.
I've said this before, TJ, but Trump always sounds like he's someone who didn't do the assigned reading and got called on in class. That's what he constantly sounds like every time he answers a question. The constant superlatives. Talking about Hannibal Lecter has suddenly like that's a dark horse candidate. Like, no one expected it to medal at the podium, but like it's definitely making a run for it.
Look, so this is like a side story here, but a year and a half ago, I had a follower on my TikTok account called Little Cthulhu. And this guy would leave consistently funny comments on all of my videos.
Does he ever watch this show? Because I recognize that name quite.
I did a video on Little Cthulhu on TikTok, and you may have seen that one.
Oh, I definitely did not. I think he also comments on my shit because I recognize that name.
So yeah, wouldn't be surprised because he followed and he would leave hilarious comments. And so one day I actually went to his page. This is it was over a year ago, and it was this kid. He looked like he was 12 or 13 years old. I couldn't believe it. I was telling my girlfriend, I followed him immediately. He had dozens of videos like talking about communism and geopolitical analysis, and they were all super funny. And my girlfriend and I, we literally started like, babe, wake up, Little Cthulhu just posted. We were like telling each other, like, go check him out and shit. And one day he was just gone. He just disappeared. And I thought, oh man, he was probably too young. They probably found out and banned him. But just like last month, he's back and he's commenting. Yeah, at least I think he's back. I haven't seen his face, and but his voice sounds right and his comedy is right. But anyway, another reason I told that story is I went to his page, and you know how you have your little TikTok bio in there? His bio says, I would like to have you for dinner. Yes, you for dinner. This kid is so funny, man. So I'm definitely putting that one there. That's fantastic. So, all right. So the nominees I got here, Trumpism, I thought that would separate. I separated in the comments, but accordion hands, double BJ, many such cases. No one knows more than me. Wants to have you for dinner. I think wants to have you for dinner is going to be our gold medal.
It's such a recent trend. Like, he didn't used to do this, so
it's so weird.
It's so funny. It's so weird. And at least the other ones make sense. That one is so unexplained. I'm fine with giving that gold medal, TJ. I'm okay with awarding that the gold medal.
All right. I guess we should go back. We should start with the bronze. Silver. What do you think?
I think Bigly. Bigly is a word that has entered the lexicon because of Donald Trump.
I like it. And Mark read my mind for the bronze medal is no one knows more than me. That's just fantastic. No one, because he just keeps saying it all the time.
No one knows more about so many topics. We should like get a whole list of all of the things Donald Trump he says he knows more than anyone else about.
There's more. There's. Oh, I know, right? It's just so fantastic, so fantastic. All right. So, what other category we have here? This is a good one. These nominees are gonna be fantastic. Favorite conservative commentator.
Yes.
And
Define favorite.
Yes,
what is the winning criteria here?
So I don't know. I thought
guys, we are so good at preparing for this.
No, I had the same thought when I was like, what do I mean by favorite? Do I mean best? Like who I think is actually the best at their job and actually puts in the work and tries their best, like gives it the old college try? Or do I mean the most entertaining or the dumbest? And I don't know which one. I want to say most entertaining, like the one that
I think the most. I think that's exactly the word I would have used. Which one entertains me the most? Because none of them are good, or else they wouldn't be conservative commentators. They might be skilled.
Yes, skill. Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because also there are some skilled ones. Like I hate to say that Ben Shapiro is very good at his job. Like he's very good at this job.
He's very good at his job, but he still isn't very skilled. Like.
Really, you don't think so? I think he knows exactly. Well, I guess they all know exactly what to say to get their audience up. But so like Ben Shapiro actually has a set of principles that he kind of skirts around and everything. He's not as insane as every other conservative commentator. That's the way I'll put it. Like he's not Matt Walsh. He is not Candace Owens. You know, he's a little more. If I were to fast forward 15 years. And see who still has a platform, and I can say my bet would be on Ben Shapiro. Like it was still
Ben Shapiro is going to take the gold in this category, no matter how we define it, because he kind of he scored. He's like the decathlon. Like he's really funny, both accidentally and genuinely. He's capable of being funny, which is important to be able to have both. He is very skilled in just the job that he does. He's probably done it better than anyone else in the modern era. And he's also, it does just have some of the dumbest fucking takes. Like, and that's really entertaining. Because that's why I say he's not very skilled. I would say that, what's Bill O'Reilly. Highly skilled. Highly skilled. Ben Shapiro's not on that level. But Ben Shapiro's way more entertaining than Bill fucking O'Reilly.
So, all right. So, this is the great one here. I like how I congratulated myself. This is a great topic. But Bill O'Reilly, I used to watch Bill O'Reilly all the time as a kid. And growing up, I watched the show on Fox every night on the weekdays. And amazing broadcaster. Just like the drop off from Bill O'Reilly to Tucker Carlson is noticeable when Bill O'Reilly comes off like a professional journalist. Like he actually, Tucker Carlson just comes off as the annoying kid in school that's just bothering you all the time. And so when it comes to actual skill, Bill O'Reilly easily runs away with it. But
he's dead in the water now, so like, it's not really relevant. But if this Olympics were held 12 years ago, Bill O'Reilly would be.
That's what happens when you sexually harass people at work, which is going to get all the conservative guys eventually. But so Ben Shapiro's getting our gold for just all-round. The all-around. Okay, real quick, I got to acknowledge Tweedledee here.
Fuck will do it live. All-time moment. All-time moment in the history of what we do. Whatever you want to call it. Fuck will do it live is fantastic.
It's so good, man. And it's before Bill O'Reilly was a conservative commentator, which makes it so great. He was on Inside Edition. And it's funny to watch the clip because you could, like, watching the clip in the future, you can tell what happened, but I can see why it fucked him up, like in the early 90s or late 80s, whenever it was, is the teleprompter said, okay, this is the end of the show. Now we're going to leave you from a song from Sting's new album to play us out. And I guess he had never heard the term play us out before. And so he thought that there was like more words to come. He started yelling at the people, but they lost it. And so he's like, oh, fuck it, we'll do it live. And the best part is afterward, when the sound is off, he's just throwing his jacket off and yelling at the machine. It's great. But do you know who Nick Adams is?
Yes, I do. And I don't count him as a conservative commentator. No. He's an op.
Listen, okay, Nick Adams. He's obviously bullshitting. Like he is
making fun of conservatives. I genuinely, in my heart of heart, believe that Nick Adams is a satire of conservatives. There is no way he even is trying to be seriously a conservative commentator. I think he's laughing at all of his fans.
Interesting. I didn't think that. I like that theory. I like, because I always thought that he was just a conservative troll, that he actually does believe this shit. And because he says like what does he say? Like, a real alpha man never calls himself an alpha male. And in his handle, it says Nick Adams, alpha male.
That's
Honestly,
why I think he's a satire. Like, that's
Yeah.
such a good joke that there's no way he unintentionally made it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely intentional, which makes it funny when all the people are trying to dunk on him on Twitter. It's like, you fucking idiot, you don't see what's going on. Like, okay, folks, you see. So I do know for a fact he is trolling. I just assumed he was a conservative though, but it would be better if he wasn't. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Mark Louderback coming in with a throwback to William F. Buckley, #1 craziest break. Mark, how old are you?
These are before my time, Mark. I hate to tell you.
William F. Buckley is before both of our time, but Brett Cooper is brand new. She's the girl that looks just like Ben Shapiro. She works for Ben Shapiro, which makes it weird.
Oh, that is weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen her. Yeah. And it's oddly attractive that the female. It's odd that the female version of Ben Shapiro is so attractive.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
It is the case. I must admit. I don't know anything about her, but I have seen her before.
Ben is a rather waifish male. I mean, if there were ever a conservative commentator who would, fit right in, with the trans world, it'd be Ben Shapiro. He's right there, and you're old. Mark said he's old, but William F. Buckley is kind of the father of the modern conservative movement. Back in the 1960s, he did the Buckley versus Vidal debates back in 1968 during the convention.
I have heard of them in my media history classes.
yeah. And I will say, William F. Buckley, is a genius compared to your average conservative commentator these days. Like, he was a horrible bigot, obviously, but he was up there. So, all right, Shapiro gets our gold, bronze and silver. Good.
I was going to say, I'm just going to rattle off quite a few, and we can rank them.
Sure.
Something coming up, like the whole Daily Wire crew.
Strong contenders. Strong contenders. Yeah.
You have your Jordan Petersons. You have your Michael Knowles. And honestly, I would just Candace Owens, even though she's not Daily Wire anymore. I would put those three of the Daily Wire crew. The rest of them I don't know well enough to even say compete. You have your Steven Crowder, who I would have solidly put on the podium 10 years ago, and I think has fallen off significantly.
Fall off has to be studied with Steven Crowder.
It's right. Am I the only one who thinks? Because I actually used to watch Steven Crowder's shit. Because it was, and not be like his original, what was it? Change My Minds. They're really good. They're compelling content, and they're very interesting to watch from a technique perspective of what he does to get the person he's talking to say the things he wants them to say without seeming impartial. Or impartial is not the right word, but without seeming like he's manipulating the situation. He was really good at it, and he's just completely lost. He's lost in the sauce now. It's really sad. It is a massive fall off. I'm glad you agree with me on that.
Yeah, I never found Crowder all that interesting. I never liked him all that much, but just like his collapse with the whole, abusing his wife thing and whining about divorce laws and now being sued for putting his dick on his coworkers. It's awful. And so couldn't happen to a better guy, I gotta say. And all right, so we got a good Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is Charlie Kirk is a really good one. Especially
considering he actually has power and influence.
Yeah. I think Charlie Kirk is a strong silver medalist. I think I would put Kirk for the silver. Now the bronze, I don't know about you. I got it nailed down. Peterson is so good. Peterson is, because for entertainment value alone, it's hard to beat Jordan Peterson, man. It's hard. And you know what? Did you see? I don't know if I shared the video on the show when he was talking to Elon Musk about his all meat diet. Did you see that clip?
No.
Oh, I got to send it to you after the show. But he's talking to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is talking about how, he was doing some training with some MMA fighters, whatever, and he hurt his back really bad. And his back has been hurting for years now. And Jordan Peterson says, oh, well, the carnivore diet, that'll fix that for you. That'll fix it right up. And Elon's really like, well, he says, what? He says, yeah, the carnivore diet. I did it for a long time. It healed all of my problems. And he says, so like Elon is baffled. He's like, so like you just eat steak or something? He says, well, no, yeah, you do that. My wife did it. And he goes on this long story about how his wife couldn't raise her arm above her head. And then she ate nothing but beef for 2 years. And now she can raise her arm just fine. And Elon's like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna have a surgery. If that is, I'm just gonna, not bother with it. But thank you, though. It is a wild clip. I should find it for the show and play it for you, but it's really great.
TJ,
but
we need to find more excuses for you to use your Jordan Peterson impression because it is so good.
Well, you kind of just gotta do like imagine Kermit the Frog is a little older than he is, and then just kind of go with it. That's kind of the Jordan Peterson voice. But man, I hate that I kind of, but I want to put Peterson in the bronze because not only is he so fun to listen to, and how he's just so over the top, and he like turns on the fake outrage better than anyone. Well, I guess worse because you can tell it's fake outrage, but also that he dresses like a Batman villain. I love that, man. I love the guy's got drip. The guy has drip. I mean, you got to admit it. So yeah.
What was his line? He had a video and he was like,
up yours, woke moralist. Let's see who cancels who.
That's one of the all-time great lines, and he delivers it with such like it's obviously he's working up for the camera, but like it feels like he's being honest. It feels like there's a level of honesty. He's the only one of the conservative commentators that actually evoke empathy in me. Like when I listen to him, I actually feel bad for him. Because if you look at his arc, like Steven Crowder, I don't feel bad for at all because his downfall is because he's an asshole. I genuinely, like, if you look at Jordan Peterson's start of his career and like commentary, it's mostly his psychology shit, and it's mostly not that bad. Like it's mostly in rugged individualism to help yourself sort of thing, which ain't bad at all. I think that the conservative commentator sphere cooked his brain so bad that he just doesn't know which direction is up anymore, and it makes me feel bad for him.
Yeah. The Jordan Peterson thing, oh shit. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the Jordan Peterson thing, you're right. Like early on, the stuff that he said, the problem with like, red pill guys, we talk about how like 35% of their advice is really good. Jordan Peterson's the same way. But I'm always a little suspicious of self-help people. Because all self-help information is pretty much the same shit. There's nothing earth-shattering. And it's like one of the industries that is reliant on you not taking the advice. And so like if you sell self-help books, if everybody followed the advice, you couldn't sell books anymore. So I'm always a little suspicious of those guys. But yeah, he does seem to be sincere in a weird way. Like he actually does. Like I believe he actually thinks what he says. All right, I'm gonna see if I can share this here because it's such a great clip with Jordan Peterson and the all meat diet. Let me see. All right.
Been doing, but you paid the price for it.
Okay, yeah, this is it.
Charging Adam at full speed to knock him over, which I did succeed in doing, but you paid the price for it. A very high price. Carnivore diet will fix that. The what? Sorry. The carnivore diet will fix it. Look, I like meat. I'm pro meat. I don't think the carnivore diet is going to fix this particular issue. I think my wife had an injury of 40 years, and it resolved in 2 years on the carnivore diet. You could just eat steak or something? Yeah, all beef. Sure. I'm a pro. I like meat. But I think this is I think I'll probably need an operation fund.
It's so funny because Elon, in that moment, you can tell he's like, the cameras are on right now. If they weren't, I'd be calling you an idiot. But I can't do that because the cameras are on. So I'm just gonna try and get past this. And then Jordan Peterson's like, oh no, my wife had 40 years. That is so funny.
It's so great. You know how weird you got to be to out weird Elon Musk? Like Elon. I wasn't kidding when he's like, "Oh, so you just eat steak or something for 2 years?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's what you do, man." That was fantastic.
And honestly, Elon Musk almost deserves to be on this list at this point.
Ooh,
I like this. This could be an argument. This
too
could
dumb.
be
Too dumb.
you know, I don't know if he qualifies. Based on his whatever. I'm trying to make a trans allegory here, but it's not working for me. But like that's mostly what he does now. Like if you were to like look at the schedule of Elon Musk's day, it's being a conservative commentator first and everything else second.
But he sucks at it.
Yeah,
like he's terrible.
True.
He's terrible. Yeah. He'd be the worst conservative commentator. Like, just like no shade against something he can't help, but he's just a horrible public speaker. He's awful. Like listening to him talk is just brutal, and he doesn't really come up with anything clever or creative, which is very funny, given that he's supposed to be like this inventor guy, you know. But when's the last time you heard Elon Musk say anything remotely interesting? I mean, you can't say that about. As bad as Steven Crowder is, he at least says something that's, makes you, it evokes an emotion out of you. You can't get that from Elon Musk at all,
Elon Musk is just a punching bag. Like it's really, and here's TJ, I would bet even money that in 15 to 20 years, Elon Musk's only job is conservative commentator.
I mean, what's his job now?
I mean, he's the owner of Twitter and
SpaceX and Tesla. Yeah, that's what I'm like. Yeah, he's the owner, but it's not.
I know, but like I think that his only grift is going to be the conservative commentary. I think that the real companies are going to oust him, and that's going to be it. But I don't know.
Yeah,
he's going to be I would say even money on it.
Okay, wait, hold on. Mark said, entire episode in Jordan Peterson voice with John as a sycophant. That would be very funny. That would be a funny episode. Fake Jordan Peterson. And Kyle says, "Dear God, I hate Jordan Peterson." I wouldn't say I hate Jordan. Like I pity him in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I pity him.
Yeah, like I do. He's I don't like him all that much, but he does seem to be like, you know what? There's a lot of similarities between Musk and Peterson, because when you were first introduced to these two, you were probably pretty neutral on them. Like you're probably, and then as time's gone on, they've broke with reality. Like it happened to Elon when he had a trans daughter. He just couldn't deal with it anymore, and it happened with Jordan Peterson when he got addicted to benzos. Probably, I think.
I think. I want to make a slight distinction here because I think Elon Musk, I had a neutral, if even honestly good opinion of him because all I knew is he was Tesla guy.
Yes, same.
And that was, Tesla electric cars. That's cool. That's good. Pro environment. Good. I like this guy. But he was always an asshole. He was always a fucking apartheid South African monster. Jordan Peterson, I genuinely don't think was always an asshole. I think he genuinely wants to help. I think he still does genuinely want to help people. He's just been cooked.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Well, what happened with
empathy for him?
Yeah, what happened with Peterson? Actually, I think when Peterson started breaking was when he first became famous. He first became famous because he was protesting the gender law in Canada or something like that.
Yeah.
And people got to remember, this is back in 2014 or something. This is back before we were all familiar with this stuff. Because look, it wasn't too long before that, or maybe around that time. I remember a friend of mine mentioning that people use they, them pronouns, like singular people. I said, that's fucking stupid. That's ridiculous. What are you talking about? And that's not that long ago. So it wasn't bizarre back then. Like people hadn't been familiarized with this terminology and this culture. I mean, in 2024, it's kind of weird, man. You should know better by now. And to actively deny that shit is kind of weird. But Peterson is a fun guy, a well-deserving bronze medalist, Jordan Peterson. I wish I could give him 2 silvers for Peterson and Kirk. But all right.
Let's do the other way around. Instead of right-wing commentators,
left-wing commentators. Oh, very good. Very good.
Ourselves not included, obviously.
Of course, obviously, the gold medal's locked up here. I mean, this is the junior league categories. The people. So All right, I feel like Hassan's got to be on there, obviously.
On there. Vaush.
Vosh is there. Let me see. I love the Majority Report. I already talked about that. Kyle Kalinske. Although I know you don't watch Kyle from an episode we did a while ago. And who's this Destiny count?
Destiny counts. Yeah, Destiny counts.
Okay.
He's a commentator. And if we're going to put him in one of the wings, it's definitely the left one.
Yeah. I just don't know if like that's his wheelhouse. Let's see.
I mean, what Destiny is a confusing. Okay, here's the thing. I know that I spend 3 hours a week streaming. I don't watch streaming. I've never understood it. Anyone in the streamosphere, I know of them because of Twitter clips. Like it's not something I do. Destiny confuses the fuck out of me because he often has incredibly well thought out, highly intelligent arguments, and other times I'm just like, you must know you're ignoring the argument you're arguing against. Like he seems intelligent enough to be able to realize when he's bullshitting, and yet also seems like he isn't aware that he's bullshitting. And it's very confusing to me, TJ. He's an enigma to me, and I don't understand his politics.
I think that the problem is when we listen to streamers or content creators in general, we kind of, I don't know, I do this, so I assume everybody else does, is we assume the people we like are acting in good faith. That this is a good person. This person is reasonable. They've proven they're intelligent. So, they wouldn't do anything to disingenuously, raise their profile. And streamers have every possible incentive to do that. And I think that's what happens a lot of times whenever you see someone like Destiny, who you can tell is smart and knows what he's talking about. Now, that doesn't mean you can't be wrong or make a bad argument. Mm-hmm. Then, really bright people do that. But sometimes I see stuff like, I don't watch a lot of streaming either. I watch clips. It's funny. I don't, I do the same thing. But when I see someone who I think highly of, at least their analysis, and they make the shittiest argument possible, my first thought is, oh, they must have a big blind spot there, or either one of us do. Like one of the two of us here is probably not me, but it's either that, or maybe they're just doing something to say a controversial, to put out a controversial message to kind of boost their platform. And I don't put that past anyone. I don't put it past anyone at all. So I don't know which arguments you're talking about specifically with Destiny, but that's always a possibility. Oh
yeah, guys! Only listen to creators like us who don't have financial incentive to lie to you. We're all
Cenk Uygur
are big enough to get paid. They're bullshit.
Yeah, Cenk Uygur I see on here. That one. Listen. Like maybe last year I'd have had Cenk on my list, but Cenk is really, and once again, back to the same thing that Cenk I know does this. Cenk Uygur, I'm like on first name basis with this guy. Cenk Uygur does this all the time. Like his running for president when he wasn't even born in the United States, he knows he can't do that. And so Robert Reich, no, I don't think he counts on this. Robert Reich is like
he's the older guy, right?
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah,
I only know him.
I wouldn't put him in this category. I wouldn't put him in this category.
Yeah,
he's well above this category. I wouldn't put him in this one.
He's like a real person.
Yeah. Like he did print media at one time, right? I mean, this is we're talking people in the dregs here on the internet and stuff. All right, man. I don't know who. So listen. My gold medal goes. Well, who would your gold medal go to? I don't know. I have a hard time picking a gold from. Hassan, Vosh, Destiny, The Majority Report, Kyle Kalinske, Cenk Uygur. Man,
I don't really know if anyone gets. They're all kind of the same to me. Like not, and I think this is one of the problems that we have is there's no hierarchy on the left. We're anarchy, and like there isn't a Daily Wire on the left where you can crown a king. But if I were to say, I would say Destiny's probably in my gold medal right. Not Destiny, I'm sorry. Hassan is in my gold medal right now. I think he's the most consistently successful and well-spoken and entertaining.
I was about to say, let's go with entertaining then, if nothing else. Not if not quality of content, but who would you have the most fun watching? And I do enjoy Hassan's streams whenever I see his. Because he's I think he's the funniest. I think he's the funniest. He, at least in my humor, of course, that's subjective. Oh, what do we got here? When put on the stop, sometimes people just BS.
Spot.
Oh, on the spot. Okay, when put on the spot, sometimes people just BS an educated guess, thinking this sounds right 4 to 5 times. It actually does work, and 1 to 5 times it can be ridiculous. When put on the spot, most people under pressure will do rough mental calculations to create a position. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, that's true. That's part of the skill set here. And you
know what? The streamers can never admit they're wrong. So that's what ends up happening. I think that's what happens with Destiny is he gets put into a position and then he can't admit he's wrong. That probably explains a lot of his terrible takes.
So do we want to give Destiny the silver then for the entertainment value? Because I do find Destiny pretty entertaining. I gotta say, yeah. I've never watched a Destiny stream in my life, but the clips I watch are fairly entertaining.
I would like to make another nomination, like my personal gold, and I don't say this as this is the person who I think is like the most like highest, but Sean Vids.
Oh, I don't know his.
You know what I'm talking about? He's a YouTube creator. He never shows his face. He's a skull. But his YouTube videos are the like highest quality in the left. He's so well researched, so accurate, makes such good arguments, and his posting game is fire. But I highly recommend anyone who doesn't already know. He made one on Harry Potter and like just J.K. Rowling in general that was so good from both a like trans analysis, political analysis, and literary analysis standpoint that I was like, that was the most entertaining Harry Potter media I've ever consumed. I genuinely like Harry
Potter. All right. So Sean Vids will be our silver and Destiny the bronze then. I was with Destiny, I was talking about like how, someone's entertaining when they can make you watch something that you don't really care about. Like, for example, like I don't really know much about Harry Potter, but if I run across a really entertaining video and it captivates you, it's like, oh man, this is really well done. And I admire the art and how it was produced. Yeah. I saw a Destiny clip last week, maybe the week before, about some story I had never heard about a person I'd never heard about. It was some YouTube creator named Boogie2988 who I'd never heard of. Yeah, and he had faked having cancer for 2 years, and he was scamming his followers for money and doing crypto scams. And Destiny busted on his stream and confronted him, and through the course of like 45 minutes tore apart his entire diagnosis and exposed the fact this guy had been lying about cancer. And I've been watching videos on this fucking stupid Boogie298 cancer story for 2 weeks now. That's how I know that's not an political thing. That's just something that Destiny just hopped into. So yeah, skill, gotta give respect to skill when it's due. Let me see. Okay, I want to shift fire, if you don't mind, John, to a random category here.
Okay.
This one might be pretty fun. Childhood crushes. Like
okay, we're totally changing lanes here.
So, yeah.
And we have different childhoods.
I know, exactly. That's why I think this is gonna be fun, because there's no way there'll be overlap here. And so
I think there could be a little bit, but we'll see.
Maybe. All right. So I was thinking about my childhood crushes, and so in no particular order, my childhood crushes were Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey, and Maya. I don't know if you remember Maya, but yeah, she did that. MYA. And it was like The Case of the X. That's the song she did. It's like
okay.
Yeah, what you gonna do when you can't say no, when a boy's got to show what I really need to know. That song. I don't know if you heard that one, but that was mine. And I don't think there's gonna be much overlap here, because those were like early.
No, I mean, Mariah Carey has lasting power. Yeah, but,
she wasn't
one of my childhood crushes, but she could have been.
Yeah, those were up there. So I think my bronze will go to Janet Jackson, silver to Mariah Carey, and gold to Maya. I was really into my.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong timeline wise here, but one we could have shared that I was thinking of was Kelly
Sure.
Kapowski.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Was that too late for you? Or
no? Kelly
Yeah.
Kapowski was like when I was like in single digits. That was, yeah.
I mean, I was reruns, but yeah. Kelly Kapowski was definitely
Tiffany Amber Thiessen is her name. The actress's name.
Yeah, sure it is. Her name's Kelly.
Yeah, whatever. She's Kelly.
2 would be Mia Kunis.
Okay. All right.
Which also could kind of fall for you, at least maybe your teenage years.
That 70s show I feel like came out in the early 2000s.
No, I know it was like the 90s. I don't know.
It was the 90s? Okay, well, yeah, then maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't count that as childhood credit. I'd have been late teens. So.
And then Miley Cyrus, big time.
Oh, really? Wouldn't have guessed that, huh?
Yeah, Hannah Montana days.
Oh, okay,
for
interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it's because I just always saw her as a child. Maybe that's why.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, what? But yeah, you're right. Okay. So, who's getting the ranks here? Who's going home with the medals?
To me, I just feel like Kelly Kapowski, like childhood. Like I had the hots for Kelly Kapowski before I knew what the hots were. You know what I mean? And then definitely the formative years, Miley probably takes number 2. And then Mia Kunis also would probably take bronze. Yeah, that's probably how I'd rank them.
That's for the having the hots before you knew what the hots was. I like how that's phrased. Mine was that person for me was Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Ooh, I hear that a lot. I never really watched Boy Meets World, but I do hear that one a lot.
Oh man, yeah. I was a kid and I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but I really like this person. Yeah, so that would have been Kelly.
I'm going to give you one of my controversial questions, or at least I have a controversial answer. Not controversial.
Let's go.
It's always controversial, like when the question is brought up. Hottest Disney princesses.
Yeah, it does get controversial because, like, canonically, a lot of them are 15.
Yeah. But like we all knew, like when growing up, I'm saying like growing up, which ones were you like? Ooh, I like this princess.
Oh man, I always thought Pocahontas was really pretty. I always thought Pocahontas. Let's see,
too handsome for me.
Okay, yeah, the little sharp the jawline and stuff. I can see it. I never was much into Ariel. A lot of people were into Ariel. I never was.
She just has the skin. That's really it. Her face is just kind of, she's a butterface.
and she's half fish for most of the movie. Right?
Guys, it's been a slow news week. Mark said we couldn't talk politics, so here we are.
Oh, Mark was asking about golf tournaments. I forgot that we ignored that question.
I have nothing to say about golf tournaments.
I don't either. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I have nothing to say at all. Man, who else would be? I don't know. So I never found
Jasmine's gotta be like Jasmine was always.
Jasmine,
was
my God, Jasmine.
Like,
how did I
forget? The original Disney girl badass.
Yeah,
Disney
Jasmine.
girl badasses existed.
Jasmine was a looker. That's true. Because I was about to say most of them I were just like, I don't know how to put it, but they were like pretty in the way paintings are pretty, you know? Like it's like that's they did a good job. That's a good looking person, but doesn't evoke any Jessica Rabbit, they are not, you know. And so whenever I see was Jessica Rabbit Disney? Was that
no, that's Looney Tunes.
Fuck.
But here's the thing, TJ. And I always say this because what I just said had the hots for him before I knew what the hots were. Nala from The Lion King. I definitely experienced that as a kid because of her goddamn fuck me eyes. And whenever I say this, I get one of two reactions. The fucking lion or, oh yeah, no, totally. Same thing. And I wanted to know which camp you fell into.
Listen, when you said Nala, I already fucking knew what you were talking about. So trust me, I'm with you. I'm with you on this one because you don't even have to tell me like what you're referencing because I was trying to pull it up here, but the scene when she is wrestling with Simba, and she kneels down. She gives him those eyes, man. Those eyes are like we all.
And it's so interesting, TJ, because I always bring this up because it is when I was going through puberty and like actually feeling these things. I watched The Lion King, saw that scene, and went, "Oh, that's what I felt." Because I knew I felt something, but I didn't have any way to describe it. And then I recognized it. And it's so incredible how, like, honest to God true, those are fuck me eyes. They drew them to be fuck me eyes. And they knew what they were doing. And it's an innate thing. It's like, you know you're straight because, you saw Nala's fuck me eyes and you're like, yeah, let's go. Even though you were 3 years old and had no idea what that meant.
Yeah. I mean, when you saw that look, you're like, oh, okay. And then you recognize it as an adult. You're like, yep, that's it. I don't know. It seems like a little. It's funny how things can be sexually erotic or explicit without actually being like that. Because those eyes, look, man. As a kid, something's up, but you don't know. Wait, hold on. What is
I can't believe we still have. Oh, we just lost a viewer. I was gonna say I can't believe we still have 6 viewers right now.
These dudes are talking about fucking lions. What?
Stop. Just like make them stop.
Look, you guys, we're not locked here with you. You're locked here with us. But
Daddy Left Wing Princess talk makes me feel bad.
When you mentioned Miley Cyrus, I saw her doing this interview and this lady was asking her about her parents. And she says, so, what are you thankful for from your parents? And Miley said, well, my mom is my best friend. She's amazing. I have nothing but good things to say about her. We've gone through thick and thin all these years and it's been fantastic. She said, what about your dad? And she goes, well, for my dad, I could thank him for, and she has a long pause. She's like, his genes, I guess. That was it. I thought that was really funny. But apparently things not going well in the Cyrus household. I was wondering what was up with that. Now, I didn't watch Hannah Montana, but I found out why there's beef between her and her dad. And it's that after her parents divorced, he started dating a friend of hers who was like her exact age and on the Hannah Montana show with her or something. Yeah. And so Miley didn't take
this.
Yeah, and so they haven't talked since. Apparently, I don't know her name, but I can see why that would not sit well.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
Yeah, no, I got to look into this. But whatever. I don't have to. I don't want to look into this. Have dead air. I wanted to propose another category. Similar to what we were talking about with the left wing, right wing pundits. Left wing guests.
You know what? Listen, that was actually the first category I thought of, but it would take too long to go through the list. And so I want to actually, because listen, it's going to be a lot of recency bias. I'm going to have a lot better time remembering someone who's been on the show the last 3 months than the last year. So if we go through and compile the list of the guests, and then again, I don't want to rank them either. I don't really want to do that. I had this idea that I just put the names in a hat and draw them out, and we get like Ryan Shaheed as our gold medalist, which would be really funny or something. And so, but ranking them doesn't feel right to me because I still know a lot of them, and it's like it's so.
This is where you and I differ, TJ. Me and my siblings would rank each other's friends. And we would tell the friend groups where they were in our rankings.
Yeah.
I love doing rankings, but I understand how people get upset.
Yeah. I don't want someone like, oh, so I didn't medal at all. I've been on the show 4 times and I didn't get a medal at all. So I can see that, that hurting people's feelings. I don't know.
If we were to do that, I would need to prep for it. I would need to give it some legitimate more thought than you texting me 45 minutes before the show.
I know, right? You know what? We could do it. We could do it by categories, like funniest one, or
you know what? Let's do this end of year. Like end of year, we'll do an award show, and we'll give out awards for our guests.
Oh, I do love that. That's a good one. Mark asks, who did you watch the first debate with? He was good. That was Nick Powers. He's fantastic.
Nick Powers. Nick Powers is awesome. And let me tell you, TJ, Nick Powers is going to leave us behind. He has been, I don't know if you've been like paying attention to him, but his content has really taken a step forward. He's getting bigger, and I think he's going places.
So I remember a few months ago, I started noticing a drastic improvement in the quality in Nick's content.
And this is not to say that he was making bad content before. No, this thing, the production value has drastically increased.
It looks like professional as hell. I was like, God damn, man. And I've been seeing a lot of people do stuff like this, and like Corey the
history guy.
Yeah, I can't blank on his last name, but I'm going on his show in a couple of weeks. He has a new YouTube channel out now, and I was actually going to talk to him about it because it once again looks professional as hell. And he has like the screen where, like, if I was just talking, it'd be just me, and then it jumps to just you, and then just me again, like on a TV show. And I was going to see if he had like a program for that, or if you're just like doing the editing. Because if you're doing the editing, fuck it, I'm not doing it. I'm just like I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, it's just too much time. But it does look nice, so I do appreciate T and Brando. He was good. We got to have him. In fact, we're having Superman Todd on next week, I believe. Corey Bradford. You know, I feel so bad because I've been following Corey for a long time, and we talk occasionally. I was like, man, I can't remember his last name, but
both him and Nick Powers were people I followed before doing this.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, we had more categories, but we were running out of time, and I want to do this again. Like, this is actually, I think this is really fun, especially if we have more prep.
This is a segment we can do, like on our Wednesday show.
It is.
Like, you ever watch Pardon My Take? It's a Barstool podcast.
No,
like one of the first really big podcasts that hit the scene, and they do something called Mount Rushmore, where it's just like ranking 4 things, but they do the most absurd things. Like they'll do the Mount Rushmore of numbers. And then just like argue about which numbers should be in the Mount Rushmore. But like we should come up with something like that. I don't think Olympics is it, but we need to find like a shtick and then just have like a ranking every single week.
I like it. Yeah, Olympics was just topical since the Olympics.
Yeah.
I did want to do some Olympics talk too, just like random facts about the Olympics and stuff. Like I saw something. So the winner of the 100-meter sprint at this year's Olympics ran in like a 9.8 or something, or maybe 9.6. And it showed the difference between the 100-meter sprint from 2024 and 1924, and seeing like the difference between the times for the winners. And like this year's winner was like a 9.6, and in 1924, it was 10.4 or something. It was closer than I thought. Like, it was a lot closer than I thought it would be. I figured 100 years, there'd be a full second at least. But watching the difference between the Olympics and everything has been pretty fun. I also want to talk about the medals. That's going to be pretty good. But anyway, yeah, maybe we can squeeze that in tomorrow if we get time. As far as topics for tomorrow, did you have any? I had a couple that I thought were interesting.
One that I definitely wanted to talk about because it does a good job of pulling in a bunch of different topics, and it would be in our guest tomorrow is Labor John, who it's a podcast from Philly that specifically talks about like labor rights and shit. So I want to talk about Shawn Fain and the UAW suing Donald Trump and Elon Musk for the comments they made on their what do we even call it, a live Twitter Spaces on Monday. I think that it hits a lot of the
love Shawn Fain, man. I love this guy.
Shawn Fain, if he's not going to run for president,
he doesn't have the right vibe for president. He has the right vibe for like labor secretary.
I have wondered because he gave Kamala the endorsement pretty early, and he's been stumping for her. And this move, and we'll discuss it a little bit more tomorrow, but I do think that this specific move seems very political headline catchy. It's more than, union labor president. It's a little bit more big picture.
Yeah.
And it does make me interested to know, has she offered him labor? Because if she offers him labor and he takes it, I'm ironically K-Hive now.
We're full K-Hive, full K-Hive.
I'm legit like, you know what? I'm going to war for you. You commit a couple war crimes and I'll ignore them. We're on the same page here.
Yeah, I do see that. I wanted to talk. RFK was disqualified from the New York ballot. I don't know if you saw that. That was.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
It's funny. It's very funny. No, very funny. It's kind of. I feel like RFK the way I felt like Vivek maybe 6 months ago. It's like, man, we're running out of opportunities to talk about this guy. It's gonna be pretty fun. And I did want to talk about the primary. So I think we mentioned before that Ilhan Omar and AOC and Rashida Tlaib all won their primaries. They're the surviving squad members. Like Cori Bush didn't and Jamal Bowman didn't. And talking about the difference between, because like the AIPAC and them were gunning for all of them and what helped them survive. Because like, especially Ilhan Omar, because it's not like Ilhan Omar had a cakewalk. It's not like she lives in a sky blue district. She lives in a very close to 50-50 district. So she would have been up for grabs too. So I want to talk about the squad and their re-elections. And let's see. I don't really have another one. That's going to put a dent in his chances.
Who was the other one? It was Cori Bush and
Jamal Bowman.
So yeah, we have that. We have Sean Fain. So Elon is continuing the lawsuit. I thought that would we can go back to that.
Okay.
We can cover it last week.
Oh, yeah, all right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Have must twice. Okay. Lawsuit. All right, I like it. Picasso.
And the RFK disqualified from ballot.
Yes.
In New York. Was there a specific angle you wanted to talk about there?
I want to talk about how this might have. Well, I mean, I would say how it might affect the election. And the New York thing, not so much, but mainly just RFK's place in the election. Because another thing I've been noticing is I thought for sure that RFK would take more from Trump than from Biden. But with the addition of Harris, he's lost a ton of support. So maybe those probably weren't Biden voters anyway. They may have just been like people who didn't like Biden or Trump and said, I'll just go with RFK. And now that Kamala's there, it's like, okay, I'm going to ditch RFK for Kamala. So it may be more of a Kamala one, but the RFK angle I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think that he was stealing Biden voters as much as he was stealing Democrats who wouldn't vote for Biden. Because I think that his supporters are right leaning.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who would have voted for him were people who wouldn't have voted for Joe Biden, but would vote for anyone else besides Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and ended up on RFK. And as soon as it's what Nikki Haley said, the first person to drop their old white man candidate is going to win the election. And
it's what you said. Oh,
like I mean, yeah, I said before she did. We know she's a regular viewer. Mark Louderback is just a screen name she hides behind.
That'd be funny. I'm gonna like put Mark Louderback through an anagram machine and see if we can come up with like any famous politicians' names slipping around. That'd be pretty funny.
Actually the fucking religious guy.
Mike Huckabee.
No. The guy who comments an hour before we start.
Oh yeah, Scott Powell official. Scott Powell official.
That's Nikki Haley.
Speaking of Mike Huckabee, did you see that he made this statement about Tim Walz? No. So apparently people are saying Tim Walz embellished his military service or whatever, the stolen valor thing they're accusing him of. And Mike Huckabee said, listen, Tim Walz served honorably for 22 years in the Guard. I don't know why he feels the need to embellish his accomplishments. I mean, you would never hear me come up here and say, I'm proud of my military service because I spent one semester at ROTC. Like, there's no difference between the two of them like that. And I was like, funny. It's just like, I know, man. It was so embarrassing. See, the shit like that. Oh, Matt Powell official. Thank you, Tweeter. I said Scott Powell official, yeah. Matt Powell official. But all right. We got to close things off here, folks. We appreciate you all. Thank you for It's a fun episode for us. How about you guys? We had a blast. But
Hey, we've had like a consistent amount.
It's been
We had
for
good
Wednesday,
comments. We
this is-
appreciate the comments. The comments make it better, guys. So
they do. We acknowledge them this time. But all right, catch you guys later.